I do remember back in the days, very many years ago, we're talking about 10 plus years ago. Actually, to be approximate, about 14, 15 years ago. So I was in a detention facility. Those days, I was being detained by for being an illegal immigrant. So in those days, I was an illegal immigrant. So there was an Indian in those facility. In that facility, there was an Indian. There was an Indian guy, and that guy used to do palm reading. So you know those kind of guys, they just come around and take your palm and they will tell you what is going on in your life and things like that. So we're talking about destiny. That guy. So we're about six of us. When my time came, the guy was reading my palm, and the guy told me that at the age of 40. Now we're talking about the time when I was about 20 something years. In those days, back in the days, the guy was reading my hand, and he told me that something major is going to happen when I will be 40. Now, guys, listen to this one very closely. Listen very closely to this one. The guy read my palm and told me something very big, a very big event is going to happen the moment I will clock 40. And that is exactly when everything is going to turn around for me. And I'm going to move towards my destiny. Now, I was trying to find out from the guy the little details, what exactly was going on. So anyhow, he told me that's all I can tell you now. That's the only thing I've seen in that time. We're talking about 23, maybe 4 years ago. I don't remember. Sorry, when I was about 23 or 24. A guy was talking about my destiny, that I would reach my destiny, or I would eventually, a very massive event will happen when I'll get 40, when I'll be 40. Many years down the road, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I awakened at 40. Now, one time I was looking back and I was thinking, wow, I remember that incident. In those days, I remember the incident. I said, okay, there's a guy one day told me many years ago that something very, very massive is going to happen when I get to the age of 40. And behold, I awakened at the age of 40. You see something, chosen ones, there's something I want to let you guys know. You're going to meet people along your journey, and they're going to tell you some things that don't make a lot of sense. You're going to meet a lot of people along your journey. They will talk to you and they will deliver some messages. And those messages, they will not make a lot of sense to you. So sometimes you'll be fighting with it. And most of the times, let me tell you something. It is going to be the people you least expect. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be the people that you least expect. It can be a shopkeeper, the old guy in the shop. It can be your neighbor next door. It can be the person who is, for a lot of you guys who are in hospitals, it can be somebody on the hospital bed. It can be people you are even taking care of. It can be the person you least expect. They are going to tell you something along your journey that you never thought about. You know, the universe has got particular people that the universe will use as messengers. Those individuals, you may run to them, you may run across them online, you may meet them online, sometimes you may see them physically, sometimes you may run into them in shops, sometimes you may see people who are actually in your own relationships, your husbands, they will deliver a message. When I was living with a narcissist, in those days, I didn't even know anything about spiritual awakenings. I didn't even know that I was awakened. So I was living with the narcissist in those last days. I told the narcissist one thing. I told the narcissist that at one point in time, you're going to look back and you're going to regret your actions. So there is going to be consequences. I told the narcissist in those days, we're talking about 3 years ago, I told the narcissist there's going to be consequences of this whole situation, what is going on. So there will be a time where you will look back and you realize you messed up. So in those days, of course, like you guys already know, I walked out. I didn't look back. The people that the universe will send into your life, ladies and gentlemen, those individuals, they have been assigned to give you and to deliver to you very, very specific messages. If you're not keen enough, if you're not wise enough, you're going to miss out on those messages. And those guys are going to come at a time, those guys are going to appear in your life at a time whereby you least expect them. They're going to come at that moment where you're struggling with something. You're asking yourself a lot of questions. You're looking for direction. You don't know where to go. You're researching stuff. You're thinking about things. You don't know what to do. Those individuals are going to appear in your life like a miracle. They will come in your life. They will tell you something. And believe me, from that point forwards, you're going to realize those individuals, they have delivered to you a message from the universe. Now, chosen ones, a lot of times when we speak or when we talk about something, there is sometimes people who are on a low frequency. They'll ignore the messages. They'll say, he's just another guy trying to prove that he knows everything, or trying to prove that they are this or they are that. So a lot of times people are going to miss those messages because a lot of people, they are not ready. A person who is on a very low frequency, most of the times they are very much deeply sunken into the matrix. So most of the times when you come across their journey, when you come to their lives, into their lives, when they meet you along their journey, they are usually going to think you're taking a piece or something. And sometimes, it's even very funny, ladies and gentlemen. It's even very funny. Sometimes you are going to say something and the guys are going to say, so they're going to oppose your messages. They're going to think, you're just talking, you're just over imagining things, or you're just, because at that moment, a person who is very deep in the matrix, I've told you guys, those individuals, they are asleep. A person who is very deep in the matrix, I've been there. Those individuals, they are asleep. So most of the times, whatever it is you're telling them, it is just blowing across their ears like wind. The words that you say, the information that you say, it is just passing their ears. It is going in from this side and getting out from the other side. So they're actually not listening to you. But let me tell you something. It will be very obvious later on along their journey, when they're going to remember that at some point in time, I met an individual, and that individual told me something. I do not know how they knew this, or how they knew that, or how they thought about this, but they told me something what appeared actually at a later point to be true. Now, when you're talking about chosen ones, we're talking about messengers of the universe. Those individuals, it does not matter in whichever way they want to deliver their messages. Some of them may want to deliver their messages through tarots. Some of them may be palm readers. Some of them may be motivational speakers. Some of them may be preachers. A lot of them may be, it depends. It does not matter which way they deliver. But those individuals, they are usually going to come into your life and deliver a specific message. But I want to let you guys know something. You're supposed to know people who are delivering to you a dark message and people who are delivering to you a message of hope. So there's two kinds of individuals. And those individuals, normally they're all messengers, but some people will come into your life to deliver a dark message. And there are also some people who will come to you and deliver the message of hope. In my early days, I've told you guys many times in my videos that I was involved in a dysfunctional family many years ago. I was a black sheep in the family. And I remember many years ago, I used to hear things like, you stupid. You stupid, you'll never amount into anything. You know what I mean? So I'm helping you guys to decipher the difference between dark messages and messages of hope. In the dysfunctional family, I used to hear things from the narcissistic parent, you will never amount into anything. You stupid. you this and you that. And most of the times as a kid, as you know, as you're growing up as a kid, sometimes your subconscious mind is going to believe this to be true. And even sometimes for a good period of time, it could even sometimes take a lot of years. You're going to become indeed stupid because a lot of times these messages are spells, these words are spells. So sometimes when you're having a parent or an individual that you're involved with, and those individuals are very toxic, sometimes they're going to deliver to you very toxic messages and very dark messages. And sometimes your subconscious mind is going to believe that to be true. So I used to believe in those days, back in the days, that I was stupid. I would believe the narcissistic parent that, oh, maybe I was stupid, so maybe it was all about me. Only for me to realize later on when I awakened that it had never done anything, it had never had anything to do with me. I was never stupid in the first place. So I remembered who I was. And that is when everything turned around. And I say, okay, now, having realized that now, having finally realized that I'm not stupid, I'm going to become the wisest individual on this universe, the smartest one. And I'm going to go ahead and achieve my goals no matter what. So I unplugged out of the matrix, I unplugged out of the dysfunctional family, like you guys already know, and I started moving towards the highest version of myself. So there will be dark messages, but there will also be messages of hope, and sometimes there will be predictions or sometimes prophecies. Those individuals, chosen ones, they are beings of light. They will never come around you and beat you down and tell you things that you don't want to do, things that you do not want to hear. They will come around and give you hope. They will tell you something. Sometimes they will mention to you some things that are going to happen sometimes in your life. And most of the times you need to listen very, very closely because those individuals that have been sent by God. It is important for you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that sometimes you need to take something seriously. You need to get out of the habit of undermining people. You need to get out of the habit of overlooking people and thinking that those individuals, they're up to no good. They do not mean anything. Yes, they may sometimes look like useless people. You may look at them and sometimes you may think that there's nothing you can get from them. But those individuals on a very spiritual level, they are messengers of the universe and they have been sent towards your way. They have been guided towards your way to deliver specific messages of hope, to deliver to you messages that are going to help you and benefit you somewhere, sometimes down there along your journey. So you need sometimes to take those individuals seriously. But again, like I've said, there is messengers of hope and there is also messengers of darkness. So you need to decipher between the two. A lot of times, we have usually missed these messages. So there have been guys who have come around and told us that, hey, listen, this is what is going to happen, and that is what is happening, and this is what is happening. So sometimes, of course, spirit of discernment is required in this case because sometimes you need to know where are you getting these messages from, how authentic are these beings, and what are they telling you exactly. So sometimes you need the spirit of discernment, but sometimes you also need to evaluate those messages that they're telling you. Sometimes those individuals, they have got a very detailed messages. You may not really know everything on surface level. They may say to you something, and you may not really understand everything on surface level. It may look like so simple. Sometimes it may look like too good to be true. But you may realize so many years down the road that those individuals, they told you something. What is actually going to happen, reality, in your own reality, is going to happen in your life. So beware of the messengers of the universe. Take those messages with a grain of salt. Eventually, take those messages with a grain of salt. Meditate on those messages. Pray on those messages. And try to understand, ask God, ask the universe to tell you, this individual, whatever they have told me, or whatever they have delivered to me, is it the truth? Is it coming from you? Is it coming from God? Is it coming from source? You need to understand these kind of things. You need to pray. If you really doubt somebody, they have told you something and you really doubt them, ask God to help you for guidance. And God should be able to tell you whether those messages, they are coming from Him. God will reveal to you in so many ways that those messages you have got from somebody, some individual, they are coming from God. You will know everything with time. So chosen ones out there, In this video, I would like to let you guys know that keep on spreading your light in whichever way, shape, or form. A lot of chosen ones, they come in so many different kinds of. Some people deliver their messages through art. Some people deliver their messages through songs, through music, through poetry, through acting. So there is so many ways that chosen ones are going to deliver messages. But in whichever way, shape, or form, you only have to deliver. You only have to pick out those messages that resonate with you, because a person may come around and say so many different kinds of things. I've seen it on my journey, along my journey. I've seen it on my videos as well. So sometimes you may say, you may make an entire video. So in that video, you have been instructed by the universe to deliver so many different messages to so many different people around the world. But you see, the thing is, not each and every single word that you say is going to resonate with everybody. So most of the time, it's important for you to understand that there is some few particular words that are going to resonate with you. Those are the words that you need to pick out. So you only need to decipher and to discern which exact messages are they saying that resonates with you. It does not have to be everything that they're saying that resonates. So there may be a lot of things that they're going to say or they're going to speak, and the only thing you need is to pick out one or two or three messages from that information and take it with you and contemplate on it and meditate on it and pray on it. Because the other messages, basically, they're not for you. They are for different other individuals around the world. So when you're following a chosen one, you're listening to them, or they're your friends, or they live in your vicinity. Whenever they are speaking, listen very attentively, and listen very closely to those individuals. When you're speaking with those individuals, if they are your mentors, if they're your pastors, if they're your preachers, if they're your friends, and those individuals are telling you something, listen closely and attentively. They may tap into one of the things that you're dealing with, and you may get a message from them. But it does not always mean that each and everything that they're going to say, it is going to resonate with you. So pick out what is for you, leave the rest. Spread out your love, chosen ones. Spread out your light. You have awakened for a purpose, and there's work to do. And of course, guys, you already know, I always love and appreciate your support. You can always drop us a comment in the section below. Let us know what you think about this video. You may always book a session with me if you want to. You may as well donate and support my channel if you want to. All the links you need, you will find them in the description section below. And until then, it's been a blessing to have you guys on board. Much love and blessings. There's almost signing out. And I'll catch you in my next one. Peace.